Hello everybody, it's your boy, Do It With Dan, and this is my 95 step-side pickup truck. You know, I know we're working on a lot of stuff with the dually in the shop right now, but I figured we'd take a break from all that because it's been non-stop center console stuff. Ever since I got this truck, I've been really wanting to do something to it, and now I have the ability to do it tool-wise. I've always wanted to build a sweet little NASCAR-style spoiler for this truck, and that's what I'm gonna try to do today. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, Dan, isn't this truck like stock? It's not fast. What does it need a spoiler for? Well, if you can put a spoiler on your Honda Civic, which is front wheel drive, then I can put a spoiler on my not-a-build pickup truck, right? And before we design the spoiler, we need to do one little thing first. I'm still missing a tool, a sheet metal brake, which is very basic. And if you're a cheap fuck like me, you don't want to spend like $1,000 on a really nice one, especially when you're not gonna really be using it that often, but I do need it for a project here and there, right? So I'm gonna build one. I went to the metal store with my buddy Justin the other day. We picked up some angle iron and some sheet metal. I'm basically gonna build a quick little sheet metal brake. There's a lot of them online. I suggest looking at those videos instead of trying to copy mine because mine's gonna fucking suck. Any other YouTubers, how to make a custom at-home sheet metal brake because it's gonna be way better than mine. But that's what I need to do. I need to build a sheet metal brake and I'm gonna make it attachable and removable from one of my workbenches here. So sheet metal brakes are very simple in how they work, or at least the one I'm gonna be building, right? You need a platform in which, oh, that doesn't work. The fuck out of here. You need a platform in which to lay the material on, right? And we're gonna use angle iron for that, so it's gonna be an L shape. You need the other angle iron to meet up here, so it's a nice flat and even surface for the piece of metal to get, you know, fucking bent on. We're gonna need a hinge, right? This is from the horizontal perspective. Anyway, we need the hinge for it to fold. So this piece is gonna be able to fold up and down. And we're gonna need a piece of metal for it to go against that's adjustable, raise and down, so you can slip the metal in between like your mother in the sheets. And that way, when you go to bend it up, it'll be able to bend and do all sorts of cool, very simple bends. Is this a great diagram? Absolutely not. Do I expect this to make any sense to you guys? No. But this piece right here will go up and down, and this piece, the sheet metal, will go in there, and then it'll get all bent. And man, I really fucking suck at this drawing thing. But yeah, you get the idea. A really cheap and simple sheet metal brake to start off today's video. So let's get to work. All right, so starting out here, I have a couple of pieces of angle iron in different sizes because I can't measure to save my life. Some really heavy duty bolts that we're gonna use to mount this to the actual desk itself. And you know, a couple of hinges. I've got more, here it is. And some hinges so it can pivot. All right, so the first thing I need to do, at least what I think I need to do, is mount this to the edge, right? And remember, this needs to be removable, so we're gonna start out with a small bit, step our way up, put some big old friggin' beefy boys through it, call it good. Okay. Dead battery, motherfucker. Where's my hammer? Bring me my hammer. Wow, that was loud. I'm gonna put a couple more screws along the base into the wood itself, but I'm not worried about that. All right, next up we have the foldy piece of material. I considered tacking this together just to hold it in the meantime, but I think we can work around that. Should I just weld this? I'll probably just weld this, right? I might just weld this. All right, so now you need to get the hinges on this bottom piece. I will need to cut out just a little bit of steel on either side just to make sure I know. I'll just have like a rough idea of how wide. Some marks to cut sections out with the angle grinder. We're about to do that. This will give us a recessed area for our hinge to sit in when it folds. I don't think I need to do this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So let's get the angle grinder. All right, so now I need to cut out these recessed areas that I've drawn on here with the Sharpie. I'm just gonna cut these sections out with the angle grinder. That'll give the hinges a good spot to sit when it folds. So
we're gonna do some cutting, bud. We're gonna do some cutting with a fucking grindy wheel, buddy. I probably should move the brake parts cleaner.
All right, so since this is a really small and insignificant project, this would be an excellent time for me to practice my TIG welding, which I'm not gonna do. I'm definitely gonna do MIG. I'm definitely doing MIG, all right. And I think what I'm gonna do, just to hold everything in place for right now, I'm just gonna kind of like tack the other piece in place. I can have it held in place. I don't really have another way to do it right now, so let's do that. Oh man, lock these casters. I can't believe I haven't done that yet. That's real shitty, but it will do what we need. And then to be honest, I'm just gonna like weld the hinges in place. I don't think there's any reason to make it breakdownable, you know, unless I do it wrong. And you know what, yeah, like it's a little Cocker Spanieled, you know, it's not perfect, but for this small insignificant thing, it doesn't need to be perfect. So I stress not having something perfect. Okay, those are tacked. Yeah, the bench is gonna smoke. We get it, it's on fire, whatever. Oh, there's my other hinge. All right. You know how I'm always joking about, you know, I'll say something like, just the way mom used to make? And you guys think that I'm probably being like joking around because that's like a phrase from what video game? That zombie video game in the mall I'm talking about. Dead Rising, just like mom used to make. But I'm being pretty serious when I say that. My mom was like the first female mechanic at Delta Airlines. She worked on airplanes for like forever, man. You know, she did other stuff there too. But yeah, my mom used to be an airplane mechanic. And she's a veteran of the Air Force. Isn't that crazy? Well, Do It With Dan's mom is a badass. That's what I'm saying. You guys always got to be respectful in talking about my mom. Not your mom. We can be rude about her, but my mom, we be nice. Let's test that and see if it works. Damn, talk about not bad for my first try, huh? So this is gonna sit pretty much flush with that crease, like so. And then we'll just be able to be like, Mwah. I think that's it, man. I think we should just go ahead and send that home. What do you guys think? Let's be honest, it doesn't matter what you guys think. I'm probably gonna do it anyway. All right, let's weld her up. God, I love this part of the job. Am I on fire? It smelled like I was on fire. Probably just the table, to be honest. Yeah, it's the table. I said no. I said no. I think those plug welds should probably hold it in the meantime, you know? Remember, we're not striving for perfection here. This isn't Perfect It with Dan. This isn't fucking Skill Shop with Dan. This is Do It With Dan. We're doing stuff. We're not making it perfect. We're just doing stuff here. Aight. Now, we'll definitely weld some pieces on here to make this a little bit more sturdy for bending. I'm Bender, please insert liquor. If it breaks, we'll cross that bridge when we go to get over it. Point is that is not on fire and it is complete. And we're gonna put some arms on this thing. All right, now this is where it's gonna get weird. So we need to put some bolts through this that are adjustable essentially. That's what's gonna adjust the height for different thicknesses of metal and also gonna create a nice clamping surface for this to bend metal and such. Fuck, that's hot. So how are we gonna do that, right? Like this is obviously a peaked surface, you know, just like my YouTube career, it's peaked, right? So we need to flatten out some spots and drill some holes through. It's really not that difficult, but we can make it really difficult if we want to. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take my angle grinder, make some little flat spots on it, and then that'll be that. By the way, now because of my truck, it's a 4-foot wide bed, so I need this to be at least able to accept like a 4-foot wide piece of metal. Now without measuring, when I bought this, I was like, oh yeah, that looks good. Thankfully, we're a little bit past, we're a good bit past 4 feet. So we got a little bit of room to play with here. So we can bend over 4 feet of metal with this thing. But I'm just gonna grind some flat spots here on this and then send some drill bits through it.
This is working surprisingly well. I thought this was gonna be a pain in the ass, but, ow.
Last step is to drill it through the table and mount it, the actual clamp itself, and then it'll be Gucci. I got a little overlap here with some of my metal, so I'm just gonna kind of draw where it needs to be. I don't expect you guys to know or care. I'm just saying it. Do need to take this thing off for a second to do something. Look at that, man. And this whole thing just comes off like that. I need to just kind of scallop out this area where the bolts are gonna go through. It's kind of creating a lip.
So that'll take like 10 seconds.
Remember, I've never met anybody who can run an angle grinder like me. Not bragging, I guess. But when it comes to angle grinders and sawzalls, dude, I'm fucking king cut, I'll tell you what. Kamehameha. Play a little game of whack fuck here. Whack, fuck. Now the last thing I'm gonna do is drill straight through here into the wood and then do the exact same thing with the bolts except flip them, reverse them. And you'll see why. I don't think I ever mentioned this, but these go straight through into a 4x4. That's really important. So it's got a lot of meat back in it, you know what I'm saying? Meat. Whoa, I cut that close, didn't I? Going up. But check this out. Here we go. That's our sheet metal brake. Now normally if you were really cool, you'd have springs underneath it to keep it like elevated and stuff, man. But I don't. So yeah. We're gonna need some handles on here for sure. But I think that's gonna work. Let's go ahead and get those handles on. All right, so I think what I'm gonna do for the handles is use some square stock that I have laying around and just kind of right here and here, and then have handles extend out. What do you guys think? Again, rhetorical question. We're gonna do it anyway. I'm looking for about 3 feet here, give or take, giggity. Mask on.
Fuck it, mask on. The sparks are going right onto my couch. Man, this thing's fucking loud. I love a fresh cutting wheel though, dude. That makes all the difference. One more cut and we'll be in the money, as they say.
I love the smell of fresh cut metal in the afternoon. All right, so I've got my piece here, give or take a few inches right there. Then we'll do these like that, and then we'll weld it. I mean, we're gonna do it. Clean up everything with the grinder. All right, let's get that welded on. Woo-wee, buddy, I like building stuff. I don't like building tools though, man. It really feels like when you have to build the tools to do the things, it's kind of like, yeah, you're saving money, but man, I'd almost rather just pay somebody to do this shit, you know? But I'm saving myself like a lot of fucking money doing this, so let's get to welding. All right, let's just do a couple of welds along this seam right here, and then we'll do the handles, and then this thing will be DUN done. I need a chair. Give me my welding chair. And I'm not saying you need to thank my mom for her service, for being in the Air Force, but you should probably be like, hey, thanks Dan's mom for your service. And I mean, keep it respectful, all right? Mama always used to say that life is like a box of chocolates. No, when she was at Delta, she was like the first female mechanic at Delta, right? Working on airplanes and shit. She said that people would come from all over hangars, like different kinds of hangars, just to look at her, just to see a female in the working environment, because that's how rare it was. Isn't that fucking wild, man? And when I say keep it respectful, I mean, you know, like, just remember, my mom could probably turn wrenches better than you could. Isn't that fucking wild? I really want to get my dad on the channel too, but he really wants to be on the channel as well, but he's waiting until he's done with some of the stuff that he's doing, like, community-wise. Because my dad, he does, like, I don't know what to call it. It's not like charity work, but it's like, I have to lube them hinges up after all that hate, you know? But he does like community-based work for, what do I call it? I don't know what to call it without giving it away, but my dad does some like really important shit on the side after he's retired and whatnot. Now, I'd like to get him on the channel, but he wants to wait till after he gets done with that. So there's like no chance of anything negative coming back. Let's lube them hinges up, buddy. Yeah, come on. Nice, healthy hinge lube. Oh, Billy. Whoa, wow. Okay, maybe I should have waited. You know, I do a lot of different mediums on the channel, right? I work with metal and I work with wood and acrylic and all sorts of other shit, right? I really don't like working with wood. I know I love to say that I like working with wood, but wood is probably my like least favorite of the mediums. It's just something about metal, man. It really makes me happy. Let's tack that. Oh shit, I didn't tack for shit, did it, Dan? No, it did not. I know I like to show everything on the channel, but I'm gonna have to weld this seam without you guys. Yeah, buddy, that's one handle and it fucking moves. It fucking moves great, cuz. All right, on to the other handle. Let's see how this thing mates. Fucking mates beautifully, mate. Tacky, tacky. Let me just use my welding chair real quick. Get that properinoed. You know, I'm not much of a welder, but as long as I can weld better than I did a thing, I'm pretty stoked. No offense to him, he's getting a lot better. I like his content, by the way. Hey, look at me. I'm propping it up like I do your mother's legs, if you know what I'm saying. Hey. She's done. Rudimentary sheet metal brake completed. And now we can see if she actually works. Yo, look at that. It's like Cheech and Chong or my car windows. All right, let's do this. Give her the old college try. It might work, it might fucking break. We'll find out. Oh, baby, look at that. Look at that bend. Yeah, bro, this is gonna work just fine. Let's do one at an angle now. Oh. Man, those bends are exactly how I want them to be. Look at this. This is just me testing some sheet metal that I had laying around. I probably shouldn't have bent all of this up because, you know, that's fucking money for, but man, this is gonna work great. This is gonna work great. All right, now that we built the sheet metal brake, it's time to get to the really fun stuff, which is designing the spoiler. Now, there's a lot of different ways that we can probably go about this, and I think that the easiest way for me is gonna be CAD. And by CAD, I mean cardboard assisted design. I think the best way to go about doing this is to basically just make this bitch our spoiler, and then copy it on a piece of metal. For me, it's all about finding the right angle, which is why we built the metal brake. And it's not gonna be this big, we're gonna cut it down. I just need to figure out the design here. So I'm going for a NASCAR style spoiler, and those come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes and whatnot. We'll start like this, and I need some tape. This is a good start. Obviously, we're going way big right now. It's all about finding the right shape and angle, and we'll start with the angle first. I think it needs to be more slant though. I think that's too horizontal. Or vertical. Vertical is the word I was looking for. See, just a little bit of, about even with the bumper, maybe a little bit more. I think that looks pretty mean. Obviously, we're gonna clean up those edges, but yeah, I think that looks cool. Using my trusty dusty gauge here, my angle finder, my ghetto one, we're gonna find the angle, okay? Just so we know, we're looking at we want about a 40-degree bend in our spoiler. All right, now let's try to design this spoiler. Obviously, I don't want it to be a big fucking square, right? And I don't want this much to be a spoiler. So I think what I'm gonna do is kind of come up and then go in, drop it for the center of the tailgate, come back out, and then cut back over. Now, what I'm gonna do, and this might be kind of odd to some of you guys, but I'm gonna take several photos of it from different angles and then import them into my Photoshop and try to get a good design, and then we'll go from there. All right, so I have a couple of designs here that I really like. So I opened up these photos in my little Photoshop and made some general designs. So I think this is the design that I really want to go with here. I do have a couple other ones, like that one, which is pretty classic looking, and I'd say this one, which is just like a little bit more low profile version of this one. But I think, yeah, I think that's more or less the design that I want to go with. I mean, like I could do like this big, that's actually not bad. I like that one a lot. Maybe if I could just combine these two into that one, essentially is what I really just want to do that, I think. There's two different ways that I could do it. I could make the spoiler itself and then bend it to where it kind of wraps over the tailgate on the inside and then use rib nuts. Or I could bend some steel and then cut the spoiler out on top of that. Then I could just rivet them together or use nuts and bolts and bolt them together, which is what I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna try to make the spoiler itself and make it interchangeable. So if I want to go to a different design, if I'm like, you know what, I really wanna do that design right there, I could do that. Or if I'm like, you know, I wanna do that design right there, I could do that. But I think that's my goal. So I'm gonna go make a quick concept on the cardboard and then we'll get to cutting. Now, what's really cool is that when I was cleaning out the shop after the ambulance was gone, I found 2 sheets of 16 gauge steel that I bought like, I don't know, like years ago, before the fucking cost of everything went up. Which Laura was like, I don't understand how you live the way you do because I'm always finding shit that I left or forgot that I had. And she's like, what's it like living the way you do? I was like, it's pretty much like Christmas every day. You know, it's the equivalent of finding $20 in your pocket because I live so chaotically that I always forget about stuff. I find tools or I find stuff that I've been looking for a hot minute, like all the time, which is great. I love it. That was really loud. All right, let's cut this out and see how it looks. I think that's the look, baby. Hey, baby. It's pretty fucking big. All right, let's take a look at this thing. All right, man. That looks cool as fuck. I might bring the flanges out just a little bit, but I think, well, yeah, I might bring those flanges out just a wee bit since I don't have that much room to work with since it's a step side, but I think that's what I'm looking for. Now it's time to build it in the computer and then take it over the cutter and then we can cut it out of some fucking metal. Hey, baby girl. What should we call this thing, man? We gotta name the machine. Stony Dank instead of Tony Stark. Y'all come up with some good names in the comments. I can't think of anything right now. All my processing power is used on making this thing right now. Now let's go ahead and convert this to computer numbers and stuff. This is gonna be a lot easier than you probably think. So I do have an auto tracing program on that I could basically just outline this thing and it would copy it perfectly. However, as you can see, the lines aren't so perfect, and I also am too stupid to know how to use that. So we're gonna do some math. An overall length of about 58 inches, 52 inches on top. Our first height, 7 3/4. A inseam, 2.5. Let's say 2.5. Our max height is about 10 inches. Our low, 7 inches. I think that's all we need. I think that's all of the reference points that we need. Okay, well that's pulling off paint. Good thing I'm making a spoiler for it. Yeah, that tailgate's been rattle canned for sure. All right, so under normal circumstances, I should be using a screen recording program to show you guys this, but I'm on a laptop, so actually, can I download OBS? Let's see if this will work. Let's see if I can get OBS to run. Shop Wi-Fi super fast. It's downloading at a solid megabyte a second. While this downloads, I'm gonna take a piss break. Okay, fuck it. I was able to use a recording program. Neat. I'm just gonna create a new one, and then these are by inches, which is obviously what I cut in. Our maximum is 58 inches, so let's do 62 inches width, and we'll do height 30 inches, fuck it. So we're gonna start out with a square. And just fill that layer with bullshit. And we can get a little bit more accurate up here if we do inches as well. All right, so now we have the basis of our spoiler. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna work on one side of the spoiler at a time. I'm basically just gonna duplicate it and put it on the other side. This is all gonna be personal preference on how you do this, because I'm gonna go ahead and center up our object here. So we have a nice grid, and everything that we do is gonna be centered. Delete. Now we have the basis for where our spoiler is gonna be. I'm sure there's a better way to do this. This is just how I use Photoshop. And delete it from our main layer, and now we have a contour. Look at that sweet contour we got. So now we can do the little cutout section, and we don't even need to make sure that's perfect, you know? Because this is all speculative, or relative, I don't know. That's pretty much the shape of what we're looking for. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate this half, flip it horizontally, stick that corner at our corner here. Perfect. Just delete this section of it on this end. Boom. And that is, if we merge these two layers, see the height and width of it up here. Our height's 10 inches, our width is still 58 inches, so our proportions are perfect. I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to open this up a little bit. You're probably sitting there thinking to yourself, like, Dan, are you gonna leave this like all jagged edge and whatnot? And absolutely not. So what I'm gonna do, select it, we'll do a new layer, we'll modify this, smooth it out. Let's say, how does 40 pixels look? Does absolutely fucking nothing. Okay, let's just do 100 pixels, see what it looks like. All right, we're definitely getting there. Let's do another 80 pixels. All right, I think I like that. Let's fill it in and see how it looks. Bada bing, bada boom. I think that is what we're gonna run here. So now it is complete, the spoiler itself is, but I need to do the mounting plate. So I need to go take some measurements. So I think what I'd like to do is have it come down about maybe 2.5 inches and then come back over. That puts us at 4 inches, and maybe another lift up at 5.5 inches, maybe 6. Let's do 6 just in case. But that gives us a lot of room to mount after 2 bends on our tailgate. And we need to make that piece no more than 4 feet. 47.5. Let's do 47.5 by 6. What'd we say? 47.5 by 6? Doesn't fucking matter, because we're just gonna manually do it anyway. Now we've got this also centered up here. So we want to give this thing as much style as we can, you know. Boom. Now we got a little bit of a little design on our plate here. So now it's time to do the holes in which to mount the actual spoiler to the mounting plate, and I think I'm gonna do, what I make these? Because Photoshop has a really good measurement system as far as like locking stuff on, I can just duplicate this circle and put it exactly on the other side there. Just line this up with the layer to where it's perfect, then line our holes up the same distance from each other like we did there, and those will match both sides symmetrically, and we just need to do the same a couple more times. Perfect, look at that. Look at that measurement system right there, baby. So those 3 holes are the same distance from each other and from the corners as the ones on the opposite side of themselves. And now what we can do is merge all the layers together, delete those, so those will be there, and watch this, this is the good part. We will just bring them up the exact same distance, delete from the spoiler, and boom. Now those holes on the top and the bottom will match perfectly. And all we have to do at this point is get our bends perfect with the other plate. I'll go ahead and make these holes down here for the mounting plate easy to put. I don't know if any of this will really make sense until it gets cut, but yeah. So now we need to save these as individual pieces to import into our program. So if we go to our PNG files, we look at the spoiler, boom, that's our piece to cut. And I could be edgy and put more speed holes in it and stuff like that, but I just don't feel like doing that. I don't think that truck works. And our mounting plate. So perfect. And now it is time for us to take that file out of the computer and bring it over to the plasma cutter and cut them out. Oh, fuck me. Okay, we're good. Yeah, this piece only weighs fucking 200 pounds or something, I don't fucking know. 16 gauge, hot rolled. Let's see if I can get it on this thing by myself. Ooh, shit. Very metally, okay. Absolutely not. If I don't kill myself, I'll be pretty stoked. Oh shit. Hard part's done. Jesus. Don't let your memes be dreams. But, fuck my back. Okay, sure. You know, these epoxy floors have not really held up the best, but it's easy to slide metal on. Okay, all right. All right, now that we got the metal on, it's time to do the boring stuff, which is create the work files. Boom, trace bitmap. Okay, save as a DXF. Mounting plate, trace bitmap. Okay, DXF file, sheet cam. All right, that should do it. Oh, let's hope I don't fuck this up. Actually, those holes are kind of big. I'm a little worried about that. Let's cut the spoiler though. All right. So's this should line up pretty much perfectly with that, and it does, because I'm amazing. Yeah. I do be impressive sometimes. All right, so I need to bend this basically in increments of 2. And this is a little bit floppy right now, but this will get rigid once we start bending everything. And I'm hoping that once we mount the spoiler to this particular piece as well, that will be rigid as well. But we'll cross that bridge when it comes to it. So for our first bend, we're gonna need a pretty much 90-degree bend. Should probably weld a handle to that or something, you know? I was a little worried about that. So because I did this little cut here, it bows just a little bit in the middle, but it's actually flush everywhere else. So I'm gonna try bending it again. See, now this is tricky because I need to bend it in a way that I can't. Maybe I'll get away with it if I do it like that. Let's try it. An actual sheet metal brake wouldn't have this issue, but since your boy Do It With Dildo built it. All right, time to bend. Oh. We're only trying to go 40 degrees here. Where's my electric one? $30, 31, 35, 40. Perfect. Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it. That's pretty studalicious if I don't say so myself. Yeah, that's looking pretty schwanky. All right, let's bolt these pieces up and see how they match. Dude, I think that's gonna work great. Oh, mate, this is gonna turn out fucking great. It's gonna turn out awesome. Oh, that's rigid as fuck too. That's great. That's great, that's great, that's great. Let's see how it works. Oh, come on now. Look at that. Look at that right there, mate. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That looks fucking cool as shit. Bro, no way. That looks so cool. That looks cool as fuck. I gotta figure out how I can mount it right now. Dude, that looks so cool. Bro, that's a cool fucking lid. That is a cool fucking spoiler. Holy shit. You can't tell me otherwise that doesn't look cool as shit. You know, I understand that this is gonna come down to personal preference, but like, Jesus. Obviously, I just have that taped in the back right now. I'm gonna mount these with rib nuts, I believe. But holy shit, yo. Holy shit. I'm gonna go ahead and start mounting this to my tailgate, which I think what I'm gonna do is just drill the holes and then use rib nut inserts, which are these threaded inserts that you basically insert inside of a sheet of metal or something like that, and then clamp them in. So I think the best way to go about doing this is just clamp this to my tailgate, and I'll hold that in place while I drill some small pilot holes. Hope I don't hit anything vital. Now you're thinking to yourself, what happens if I don't ever want to run this, right? Like, what happens if one day I just wake up and I'm like, I don't want to run the spoiler, then I'll just run a cover plate. Boom. And that'll just sit in there like that and be threaded. And I'll probably hit it with some like Flex Seal or something to make sure there's no water that gets into it. Very cool, Kanye. Very cool. I just gotta do that like 6 more times. Nice. Them holes line up good. Neat. All right, so this is the spoiler that we cut yesterday, which is, you know, pretty big. And then this is the spoiler that I adjusted and cut this morning, which is a little bit more on the reasonable size of things. I think this is gonna be a better fit for our project here. Yeah, it's a little bit more conservative, a little bit more realistic here. That looks a little bit more conservative, if you will. A little bit more reasonable. I reduced the length overall and reduced the height by a good bit. Feels a little bit more reasonable. I'm pretty stoked on that. I'm really stoked on that. How impossible is this tailgate to, I can pick up the tailgate. I can pick up the tailgate by it. That's kind of cool. All right. I posted this on Instagram too last night to see what people thought. It was actually pretty split. I really thought that more people would be like against it, but I'm pretty stoked on that. Yeah, that's better. So I'm gonna dismount it, just give it a quick rattle can paint job, along with the actual mounting bracket itself, and then we'll be fucking done with this thing. I am absolutely happy 100% with this thing. I understand that this is probably not gonna be everyone's style, you know, especially with the split on Instagram. I thought that was kind of wild, right? Some people are stupid for it, and some people are like, what the fuck? I totally understand it. I knew that going into it, but I'm stoked on it. I'm gonna break it down, we're gonna paint it, and then that will be done. And that, my friends, is that. It is on there, it's painted, and it's ready to see the road. And I'm pretty stoked about it. I think the black is a much better look. I still have a little bit more stuff I'm gonna do to it. Like, I need to shorten the bolts, and the mounting plate, I started on that a little bit too late, so the paint's a little uneven on it. But I'm gonna take this thing and get it professionally painted later, so I'm not really worried about it. I also need to shorten up the bolts, but man, I am thrilled about that. I think it looks great. And it was really easy to do. Only took me about a day. Oh, yep, remember, not a build. Those stickers are available in my description, by the way. If you're a liar like me and you want one. Very stoked, very pleased. Maybe when it warms up a little bit, I can go out and get some nice photos of it. But I think it's supposed to snow this weekend, which would be pretty cool. But guys and gals, that is going to do it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you had as much fun as I did. And I think we will see you guys in the next one. Probably go back to the dually. Probably working on the dually again, because dually stuff.